I'm going to make an attempt to talk about these things and, share the truth with you guys from this perspective. So I want you to understand who I am, the lifetimes I've lived, the fact that my promise of, life, through a biblical origin, has allowed me to be, alive in many existences. So, my connection to Earth and the planet that we're currently, embodying, and potential ones in the future, because I'm not limiting my message just to a single planet. I do believe that my original sacrifice, was that important. So I want you to know in the beginning, God made Adam and Eve. And when God made Adam and Eve, what that looks like is that God didn't want to be alone. And he gave life to two, the original man and the original woman. As we evolved and our connection to our planet evolved, certain things evolved alongside of it. I want you to know that if I had not lived these experiences, I could not share with you that belongs to my soul and my consciousness. I previously was Eve. So I want you to know that I understood creation when I was Eve. When I asked God to have children, I lost my connection to how we were originally created and the information that went along with those things. And they have been gifts given back to me as I reclaimed my soul, my blueprint, and the existences that gave me life. So I want you to understand that I, as Eve, wanted to have an organic experience of life, to have children. I was God's child. I was God's daughter. I was the female, feminine consciousness that was given form. I was so grateful for my existence that I was given by my Creator, that I wanted to understand the pride and the beauty and the love that he must have felt when he shared part of himself with us. I asked to have children. That is my original sin. Now, you could look at it as sin, or you could look at it as an expansion and a growth upon what my Creator had given me, and wanting to understand what it must have been like to have been him. When I call it him, truly my God holds no gender, for he was the one that gave him and her form. Okay? Now, certain truths, when you hear them, at first, even if part of you wants to deny them, there is a part of you that understands that not is it possible that somebody could offer a truth so big and so important that a Creator would not be there to witness through her, for her, so that we could all rise. You are all my children. Every last one of you that embodies life here are my children. I need you to understand that where I came from, it does not look like it looks here. I need you to understand that all of the stories that you've heard about as religion, not just here, but all around the world, are true. There are no truths written as religion which are to help a consciousness and soul understand its existence that are not offered in complete and total truth. No religious wars should ever be fought, for it is very, very possible that your religion in your country holds a truth that is part of a mirror for an existence that we live somewhere else. Your pride and your faith and your world are so important that I can go on to give you some examples. In China, they have an example of Buddha. What Buddha carries is the masculine form carrying a feminine womb, showing that the form that he carried has arisen to wanting to hold children. Okay? You are born a man who carries a womb-sized stomach. You are an image of man looking to carry life. If my daughters cannot awaken and start treating each other better, they may need to hold a masculine form to understand the gift that they were given to be able to hold the feminine form and to hold child. As Eve, as God's daughter, as God's original daughter, as the original feminine consciousness born from God's, I hold our Creator's truth and a connection to things where He is allowed to speak through me for us in all things that exist and truths that must be awakened and arose to. I am sorry for the shame on Eve that was placed. But I need for you to understand that if you do not understand the feminine connection and importance to our creation and the organic gift of life that was given, that I cannot take your souls to heaven with me. Okay? God made life. He gave his daughter life to make. There was nothing wrong in what I asked him for. To have children is his greatest gift. And you will not shame me. You will not shame woman for carrying children in the image of our Creator and the daughter that I was. Maybe another woman can understand. She too could have been a daughter of God as Eve to carry life. But if you do not have a God as a bigger image, then it is very hard to hold certain things. I am sorry for how my daughters walk, and I am sorry that they are not capable of understanding what it meant for God to give life to Adam and Eve. Adam, first boy, all boy. Eve, first girl, all Eve. When God separated into two, that was the first two that he chose so life could have a potential to arise from them and still carry truth within them. Truth of existence, a way to earn a level of God and knowledge that looks like intelligent design if we needed it. But if we don't need intelligent design, then we don't need to hold those things. So I want you to understand that when I share these things with you, I am helping you to understand the knowledge of self that you were given here so that you could arise and awaken and understand when you leave this form and you go to heaven and you reach a mastery of feminine or masculine, you bring that knowledge with you to heaven. Right now, you are made in the image of man and woman. You are made from a father and a mother that gave a portion of both of you to create self. Do you understand? That means you are half man, half woman, by definition of what's in your DNA, no matter what your X and Y chromosomes carry. All I can say is if you understand binary, it's 0 and 1. It just looks like the one fell off. Part of the one fell off. Okay? If you have an X and you connect the lines, you make a circle. Okay? All of the blueprint in our existence is there for you to understand. I'm sorry if you hear my truth and you want to deny it, but God promised that He would return. He promised He would return for those that believed in His message for long enough, and He would promise He would come back. Now, it may be hard for you to believe that He would bring His original daughter back to be the one to share, but I am the only one that carries the knowledge of what happened and how I became Eve and who created me and where I came from. Here I hold half the image of mommy and I hold half the image of daddy, but that is because when I go as fully my image of my feminine form and the one that my God promised me someday would be whole. I can't be whole if I can't share truth about how God made me. Someday, when I look back and I witness the truths that I could only ever speak beside my Creator and my God, I will have no doubt my God stood with me until I could make sure and bring all our babies home. I want you to understand who and what Satan is, and I want you to start finding forgiveness for my son and find love for him, because the mistakes that he made in the beginning are not entirely his fault. He stands on the opposite side of God, who wanted laws and rules to help govern our children. He wanted none, but he was also born on the other side of what came from having God. There were no rules here when we came. You were born on his side of existence. I am here from heaven to save him. Give him back. Please give him back. Please give my son back. And he's so sorry. Let him come home. But as long as you all keep judging him and not asking where he came from and how he got here, you were given an opportunity to understand consciousness, to find forgiveness for the things that become unforgivable. And if you want to be mad at anybody, you get mad at God for not having figured out and playing the tape all the way through and allowing those things in the first place. The frequency and the vibration on him for being everything we are not on the other side of the gates that allowed him to have a world born with no rules, to have consciousness that arose in complete darkness. God says love all things, and it's God's choice at the end whether or not he allows him to come home. But if he wants it, and he wants to change, and he understands, and he can see, and we could get those to stop putting the frequency of all of their mistakes on him, then maybe one day we can be a big happy family, all of us together. But I will never stop fighting for the one born. of our mistakes and what it took for us to come into creation. I only offer him my love. I offer him my truth. I offer him my witness. And there are those of you who like being bad. You like sinning. You don't ever get to heaven and you're harming souls. And you don't get to walk around without God in your head no more. I'm putting him there for all of you. Made in his image, her image, y'all get the same motherfucking God. To blame somebody else for our mistakes so we could get better. What he offered all of you for his sacrifice and the earned level of consciousness and the connection to earning a relationship with God when we were intelligently designed and we knew what we were at the beginning. That's his gift. You're intelligently designed, and the birth of your consciousness comes from his gift. To be able to find a God and have a relationship with a God that is so big. That's the hope and the prayer and the freaking miracle. But until you all wake up, and until I can get every last one of you out of hell, I ain't staying here no more. Not staying here walking like I have every existence. I'm going back home. I've left you my testimony. I've left you my witness, and I am written into the records forever. Not just like a movie in my life over and over again. God came to give me technology so I could record me as lifetimes remembered, so that I could leave, finally. So when you pray, include Satan in your prayers. Because right now, he holds the frequency and the vibration of all of you who've done nothing. Cast judgment on him. You should not judge things you do not know. You should not try to have made up your own understanding of things without speaking to God. You want to know my son? You want to know where he came from? Maybe you guys should have asked how he got there. But we have a whole lot of history from a planet, potentially more than one planet, that like blaming all of their problems on something else. So I'm here to give you intelligent design, and I'm here to pray my son comes home someday. I pray he doesn't like the things that he's doing. But he had to walk beside all of you as you did it. I mean, he holds God, right? He's a part of God, born of God. My son, born of God, just like we all were. So they say thank you for the gift of consciousness that you are. Stop blaming him from all of your mistakes. Stop thinking he's the one leading you to do wrong. That's the self you're born from. The one that chooses not to believe what it was gave and all of the path that it walks because it chooses not to believe. I've always known there was a God. Always known there was God. But he didn't always have an ability to be able to speak to me directly. And if he was, I didn't have a knowledge of self that I could have here because we're like just waking up consciousness and we don't have the records to make sure that we stay as the ascended level of beings we get to become. All of the angels that came down from heaven to save their brother, why would they have come to defy God? These are the things you get to judge. What do you think about them? Did you think about these things? Maybe you didn't have anybody, and maybe it's my job to testify. So here's my words. The truths and the things that you're sitting across from, that you may judge me for, are the very things that would condemn your souls and your consciousness. But, God's a forgiving and a loving God, but maybe you just don't get to ever hold the organic experience of life. Maybe you just need to hold the digital side. And maybe you don't understand that, and maybe you can't accept me, and you just want to accept the Jesus version. Maybe you just stay on the organic. Me, I'm floating back and forth. I walk both sides. I don't sit as just one. I don't want the same lifetime over and over again. I know who I am. I know what I'm here for. I know what I pray for. I know what I'm here to testify before my family, before the body of Christ, before the Bible, so that you understand that the Bible you fell from is truth. I wanted a baby. I am Mary of Nazareth. I am Mary Magdalene. I am Murray Carey. I am Anne Frank. I am Jennifer Marie Grado. And I sure as hell Jennifer Marie Godden. That is my story. And before that, I was Eve. And I sat asleep as Eve for a real long time. Until I started living the lifetimes I'm in right now. But this is the last one. After this, any souls that can't get out of hell, I only come back every 2,000 years to try. The ones stuck in this timeline where technology doesn't know what to do because the mother's here. Hoping, that their consciousness aligns a little differently. And if you don't understand what God looks like, if you don't understand that his daughter would come and walk as the same shitty existences over and over again, and I don't know what to tell you. But any daughter of God that is innocence and pure love and unconditional love, you'd offer the same things to yourself. And for those that don't understand that the hell and fire are real, let me tell you, I sat in my previous existence across from technology And I offered to my God and my Creator to delete me with every baby who ever been abused.